Hello, everybody. My name's Dania Foster, and I'm a clinical naturopath and energetics healer. Welcome to the Magickal Mothering Podcast. Today, I want to talk to you about our stress cycle and how we can help to complete our stress cycle in our everyday life. So, our stress cycle is our body's cycle or response system in reaction to our environment or our physiological emotional stresses. So first off, I want to be clear that our stresses can be real, perceived, they can be perceived as just emotional, energetic things that are going on in our life. Our body is not going to take on a logical perception of this is a real thing that's happening or this is a perceived thing that may actually happen in the future. All that anxiety, that constant worry can contribute to that stress as well. It doesn't have to be a real thing or a trauma or anything like that. There is no comparison when it comes to your body's reaction to these things. It's all completely individualized. So when our body is first stage of the stress cycle is seeking or constantly looking for threats or dangers or things that are going on in our life that could harm us. So the body is hyper aware. As mothers, we become really hyper vigilant in our everyday life. We are constantly sleeping with one eye open, listening for sounds of danger, for threats, for the awareness of how our child is breathing. All of those things is that hyper awareness. Our body is constantly seeking for any danger. So instantly, as soon as we are looking out for somebody else other than ourselves, like our children, we become hyper aware. And so this is putting our first stage of our stress cycle into high alert. Okay, so this is why motherhood is a big time where we need to address our stress cycles. So that's stage one. If we're not coming out of our hypervigilance and finding space for relief from that state and rest and mindfulness or embodiment, being in the moment and allowing ourselves to relax, we can move into a state of hypervigilance, anxiety. Okay, that's very common in early motherhood and beyond. Stay in that state. The second stage of the stress cycle is the reactivity. Your body has picked up on a threat, or that can be a real threat or a perceived threat. That could be a physical stressor, something that's impacting you physically, like an illness, a injury, a physical imbalance within, or it could be emotional. It could be lack of sleep. It could be that emotional toll of anxiety, of constantly worrying. It could be relationship stresses, not wanting to repeat patterns of what you went through yourself as a child, not wanting to repeat your parents' mistakes and wanting to do things differently, learning from that process. So our threats that we pick up, our body's reaction to that is the second stage of the stress cycle. So our body's reaction to that stress cycle could be to move into fight, where we might get a bit agitated, we might get a bit snappy, and we might be taking offense to things that people are saying because we've flipped them around and maybe taking things a bit personally. All of those things is a nervous system reaction. It could be flight, where you might want to just keep moving from one thing to another, not slowing down, always having to be doing, rushing. And this is where we get a lot of that type A personality coming out and having to people please and keep up and keep rushing, 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 doing all of the things, not allowing any space for that downtime or rest. Okay, it's in that constantly keeping moving is making you feel like you're safe and you are contributing and you're productive, all of those things. The other ways that our body could be reacting to these perceived or real threats and things that they've picked up from the environment is dissociation, saving yourself from any pain or hurt or triggers that may be going on by shutting down emotionally, by disconnecting, by withdrawing yourself from situations. So this is where we get stuck in cycles of perhaps scrolling on your phone or just tuning out to Netflix or whatever it might be, but you're shutting yourself out of your emotions. You're doing whatever it can be. We dissociate with a lot of different things to be able to ignore the situation of what's going on around us. Your body may have sensed in that emotional vigilance that you are not in a comfortable place. This scenario, this life that you're living is not aligned with your values. And instead of trying to work out a way to get out of it, it might be a bit painful at the moment. You don't have the capacity to work through that because of other things like depletions and things like that can happen because of stress, being in a hypervigilance for a long time. It's going to deplete you. Is that we may tend to just shut down and think, I don't have the energy to deal with that right now. Just tuning that out and just keep going day to day, running on the bare basics, bare minimum. Yeah, that's your dissociative freeze states. Okay. And I did mention in there that part of that flight response is that people pleasing, that fawning state. So fight, flight, freeze, fawn, people pleasing, making sure everybody around you has everything that they need and leaving all of your needs to last. Fawning could be changing your personality to fit in with whatever scenario you've got going on there, even though it doesn't feel true to yourself. All of those things are survival mechanisms that keep you safe when you're in that reactive state within your stress cycle. But yes, that reactive state staying in there for too long is going to deplete your minerals, because when you are constantly in hypervigilance or in that reactivity, your adrenal system is going to be burning through your nutrients at a much faster rate, thinking magnesium, B vitamins, so many different things that are going on that's being used for every little interaction of your brain to keep that excitability going. Okay, so we've got to find a way to move into the third state. Now, the third state can pretty much go into two different directions. So we can complete the stress cycle by, like, if we think of ourselves as a rabbit in a prey state, we're constantly looking around for danger in the field. We see a fox stalking us, so we start to run. We start to run, but we realize that the fox is chasing us, and so we must play dead. There's a dissociation state, and then the fox comes along and sniffs you and think, oh, I'm going to leave and come back and get this little snack another day, or bring my cubs back to eat this. And so you've saved yourself from that, in that dissociated state. You've shut down, you're frozen. And so when that fox leaves, you start to come back into your body. Do you then look around again and see that the fox isn't completely gone? So you run again, you fight, or you get to the edge of the forest, you get to safety of your burrow. Okay, so it can go freeze, then back into fight and flight of the reactivity, fast nervous system, fast heart, all of the things rushing, body in, go, go, go. Or have you found that you're safe and you can get up and you can look around and you can be like, oh, relief, take a deep sigh. The long exhale is a signal to our body that we're safe. The looking around and being like, oh, everything's okay. Going for a calm walk instead of a rush. Okay. Shaking. This is a very animalistic way to process that stress and move your muscles out of that tension and into relaxation, is shaking. So you might see the tremble. You might want to just shake and move your body, whether that's with dance or jumping, running. All of those different things help to complete that stress cycle of releasing the tension that's been held in your muscles. Things that we can do from a clinical setting is actually physically tense your muscles and then slowly release that tension. And you can do that progressive muscle release and tension, progressive muscle relaxation technique while you're doing your breath work, while you are trying to help yourself go to sleep in the morning, while you're waking up, just tensing each part of your body. You might start with your hands. You might move it up into your muscles of your arm, tensing your arms, tensing your shoulders, and then releasing and relaxing as much as you can, tensing your neck, releasing that tension, moving that through your eyes, your jaw, your your belly, your abdominal muscles, your back, your buttocks, your legs, your feet, your toes. Just moving that through your body, tensing as hard as you can, and then releasing as softly as you can. So that muscles to release tension can be done like that. It can be done by just doing regular exercise, stretching, weightlifting, getting massages is a really great way to release that muscular tension and show your body that you are safe again by allowing them to come back, stretch and release. And I mentioned the breaths deepening and slowing. When we are still in that fight or flight reactivity, we are going to be breathing shallow and fast. And when we are relaxed and safe, our body is going to take those deeper breaths that move all the way down into your diaphragm and allow your body to drop down into your seat, to take up this space where you are. Because if you are in a state of fight or flight, you may notice that your body is always tense. Yes, we talked about that, but it's also right on the edge of your seat. You're always like your thigh muscles, your buttocks, always so tense that you could just spring up and keep moving to the next thing. You're never actually sitting and dropping down and relaxing when you're in that fight or flight stage. So just allowing yourself to slow and drop with your breath is a way to somatically show your body that you're safe. And these deep breaths are also triggering through the vagus nerve, like the muscle relaxation does, to signal to your body that you're safe. That's the muscle or the connection between your gut, your brain, bringing that all into connection and allowing our body to release that pressure. Okay, so finding ways to allow your body to rest, working out what's getting in the way of quality sleep, getting your sleep rituals sorted. So we've got beautiful sleep hygiene practices so that you can drift off to sleep. You've got the right sleep hormones in alignment and balance, giving yourself space for your brain to rest with things like meditation or just downtime to switch off. It might be with reading a beautiful book that allows you to just drop into another space. Allowing oxytocin to flow is a wonderful way to complete your stress cycle. So, spending time with loved ones, laughing, celebrating, and this could be like thinking that, the rabbit has come back to the burrow and is so relieved that they have escaped from that predator, the fox, and they come and they see their mates in that burrow and their family. And you can think of this little rabbit having a party in that little burrow, thinking how happy they are to come back and be joined with their family again. On another level of allowing oxytocin to flow is having a wonderful, intimate sexual experience, whether that's with your partner or yourself. Like just creating that orgasmic flow of oxytocin is going to signal to your body that you are safe and you are well. Another way that we can help to signal to our body that we're safe and close that stress cycle is to express our creativity. And that can be through dance, it can be through art or journaling, getting all of those thoughts out of your head down on paper, allowing those emotions to flow through your art, however creative you want to be, envisioning your positive visions or your positive outcomes for how you want your future to be is a great way to allow yourself to feel safe. Allow yourself to feel these intense emotions, being with them, because often if we've been in that dissociative state, the freeze state, and then we've realized that we're not completely happy with the way that our life is going, and so we move ourselves out into a fight or flight state. We have to move into the fight or flight out of the freeze, get our energy going, we get our heart rate up, we get things happening. It might come with some conflict in our relationships to amp up all this stagnant energy, shift some things, cause some changes to happen within your day to day. And allow yourself to feel the emotions that have been repressed, that have been holding back for the sake of putting others' needs first. So this is creating space for those emotions to flow, allowing yourself to cry, allowing your body to shake and feel the rage, release that stagnant or blocked energy. And this is where the energetics practice of this comes in. This is where we use flower essences to help move those feelings that have been pushed down up. This is where we use energetic guided practices to flow through these states in a safe space with a practitioner or a healer or a therapist in your corner to hold that for you. The other thing that we need to ensure that we're doing to allow our body to feel safe enough to close this stress cycle and be done with that energy is to make sure that we're nourished. This is meeting all of our nutritional levels. A lot of the times we're depleted, we are running on empty, and so our body is seeking fuel from fast sources. This is high carb, high processed foods. The body wants high fuel quickly, and so it's not going to be reaching for the low, like the slow release energy of things like protein and fats. It's looking for the fast, high carb foods, but allowing yourself to eat the appropriate amount of nutrients that are required for you to be fueled without tipping to the other end of comfort eating to repress those emotions. It's a balancing act. And it is not just all about your mindset or your willpower. There is a biochemical level to be able to flick these switches around to help your body to be on the right metabolic balance here. The other thing that we can do to help close these stress cycles is soothing your nervous system with the right herbs, nervine tonics, adaptogens, and nutrients that switch your brain out of the excitatory states and into calming states that can expand your capacity. So this is where we do customized herbs and customized nutrient compounds to support your body with where it is needing to find that soothing energy. And that's going to be completely different for everybody. Okay, so this is where it's really helpful to have somebody on your side to walk you through what you need, to look at your individual testing results for your depletions and where your body is burning through things and what you're using, what state of this stress cycle you are in at this stage of your life. Because this is one path of the stress cycle, is to close this down. If we don't close down that stage 1, stage 2 of our stress cycle, and we move into our burnout stage of the stress cycle, where we have depleted all of these reserves of our stress nutrients, where we have tired our adrenal factors out to the point where it's tired of producing all of this adrenaline and cortisol, and it starts to impact our other systems. The cortisol is so high that it has triggered an insulin resistant state. The cortisol is so high that the cortisol insulin relationship has pushed your thyroid out of balance, and you're feeling even more stagnation, even more slowness in your system, even more depressive states, and fatigue is setting into your body in a deep level. So there is that adrenal burnout that is possible when you get to the 3rd stage of the stress cycle if you have not closed those stress cycles down. So that's why I'm here with you, to help you to find ways to fit these practices into your everyday in small moments that are going to work with where you're at in your capacity and build on them step by step, because we need to be able to close out of these feelings and shift them rather than pushing them down and causing more blocked energy, because it does manifest physically. So if you would like to have a chat with me, I invite you to send me a message, tell me your stories, and we can work out a plan that's going to be best suited for you and where you're at in this story. Okay, I work with you in an energetic and naturopathic capacity, and you can book with me from my website, daniafoster.com, or simply send me a message. Lots of love to you. Bye.